Hey, what's going on? So this is going to be like a really quick, I guess, first progressional video related to the music stuff that I'm working on. First of all, I'm in my office. This is like I'm a mental health counselor by day, I guess, right? And this is my office. Like you see my degree and my license and stuff up there in the background. But when it comes to the music stuff, right? Like this is kind of like the first like update up to this point. So a couple years back, I had the idea that I wanted to either create some kind of content or maybe even, I guess, like make a song or two or something like that. And I never really took it seriously, but I did kind of consider like if I wanted to do it, like what would it look like, right? And so I really considered a lot of that maybe about a couple years ago. But because of life circumstances and also just my maturity level, I didn't think that I was in fact ready to consider something like that. So it wasn't until, I guess, early this year. So it's currently October 29th, 2025. So earlier this year in 2025, around like maybe April, a little early spring, I guess, I had a friend who was actually doing music related stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool. He's like, hey man, you should come on and do this. It'd be awesome. And I was like, well, how do you do it, right? And he started giving me like the software of what you would work on, and I guess like a lot of other stuff. And at the time, I already had like a really basic version of another software, like a DAW, DAW of like music software, right? But I already had like a basic version of another one, and it was really confusing, so it kind of like deterred me a lot. But here I am, like now I'm working in FL Studio. The last one for the record was Ableton. I didn't really know what I was doing with that. But here I am with like a very, I would say, beginner-friendly DAW, but also one that can work really well with even expert level, I would imagine. But back in April, and I continue the story, right? A friend told me to kind of work on it. So he and I kind of like goofed around with a lot of stuff, sent each other like what we were working on, and at the time I was just working on replicating a song and kind of getting my feet wet with FL Studio. Like I remember we used, I guess, Splice, and I still use Splice now to find certain tones and sounds and whatever, right? And then we would kind of like throw it into FL Studio and then kind of like see what comes out of it, right? But it was really, I guess, remedial, I guess is the word. It was really early on. It was very basic. So, it didn't really turn into anything. I like replicated one song, and then I got really deterred in pursuing music because I tried to sing, and let's just be honest, I can't sing at all. Or at least right now, I don't know how to, and I feel like my voice isn't the best. Like I'm 32 years old right now. I just turned 32 this year, or excuse me, this month, and I feel like if I was going to be able to sing, I should be able to figure it out now, right? So I was really deterred because I kind of wanted to make certain type of music, and I kind of felt like I couldn't do it because of that roadblock. But fast forward, what is it, like 6 months later, it's back, and it's something to kind of consider again. Like, why would I consider that again? I don't know. It feels like it's something that just keeps knocking on my door, and it's something to try and figure out here. Like, where am I now? So I like to do things from kind of like the beginning, like the start. I like to consider music as like a language. You often, when you learn a new language, you have to learn the ins and outs, the vocabulary, the sentence structure, all that kind of stuff. And then once you figure out all that kind of stuff, then you can use it to hopefully one day make a masterpiece in that language, right? Say you wanted to write a book in Spanish or French or German or something like that. You can't do that if you don't know all the ins and outs of the language. So the way that I consider it, music is like a language in itself. So I'm trying to learn the language of music, and that starts with music theory. I can do a lot of things on the side where I like to play based off of like ear, I guess, of just like, oh, this sounds good, that sounds good. But I'm the kind of a guy that likes to start at the base of it and really take it very seriously. So right now, I'm just learning music theory, and it is it's kind of complicated. It was more complicated than I expected it to be. There's a lot of memorization of like whole step, half step, semitones, tones, of like scales, and like there may be just like 7 different types of notes, right? 8 if you're including the octave note. But there's still a lot that kind of gets into it. And then I'm learning things like chords, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I tried playing guitar once and I just played what it told me to play. I didn't know why. So right now I'm kind of in this position where I'm trying to do it the right way. I'm trying to find the basics of what music is first. And then maybe it'll turn into something where I guess my own level of creativity can kind of hear something and think something's good and then produce something that hopefully one day is in fact good. So I'll probably put this on the tripod and like pan over to kind of like what my day-to-day looks like when it comes to learning music in the sense of music theory. But that's kind of like a quick little snapshot, a little story of like how I'm here now. So I think that's worth saying. Hey again, so this is my setup when I'm inside of my office. It's kind of funny, you know, as a mental health counselor, I have a lot of clientele that I work with. And today I had 2 in a row just not show up. Crazy. Like 2 no-shows in a row. I felt like I was established enough in my career for people to not no-show, you know, but that's a topic for another day. We're talking about music today. Like this is the stuff, right? So let me show you, like, starting last week, I kind of started to take this seriously. It was just a week ago. And here I am trying to learn music theory, and it is complicated. This video, you probably see it, this video right here, which you probably definitely don't see, has to do with a complete course in music theory. This is a whopping 3 hours long. And it is dense, yeah, with content. At least in the beginning it is. It's kind of complicated and pretty difficult. Like I remember that I had to take a few breaks, and I haven't had to do that in a long time over learning something new, where like my brain just couldn't take it anymore. Like I had to walk away and then come back to it later so that I could be sane. And I use a lot of mental and social energy. I guess what's important in that is I use a lot of mental energy in my job. And so to have like 3 clients in a row and then 2 hours of this and then 3 more clients in a row, you know, like that's a full day if I ever have a full day. That's like brain is melted by the end of the day, which is usually about 5 o'clock. So like part of this whole learning thing is trying to navigate my current job in a way where I can stay sane and learn at the same time. It's not easy, but thankfully my job considers full time to be, I guess in direct hours of counting, about less than 40 hours. You know, so I see about 25 clients a week or so. The rest is meant for admin hours, but being my own business owner, I can kind of, I guess like do what I think is best in the sense of administrative hours. So it's kind of nice. You know, I don't feel like I'm stealing anybody's time. But like I said, a lot of mental energy is being spent, and that's kind of essential to understand when learning something like this. Because it's not just time. It's not just time that is required for you to figure all this out. It's also energy. Like, do you have the mental capacity to learn all of this kind of stuff? But the thing is, like I said, 3 hour long video. That's good and bad. The bad is how long it is. The good is that it eventually ends and you understand all of it, right? Like if you take it seriously enough, you'll understand all of it. So, like I said, last week I started taking it really seriously. And what I learned so far was just plain old major and minor chords and maybe a little bit of, major and minor scales and maybe a little bit of chords. You know, like one beauty about this kind of progressional stuff is that I don't have to edit as much as I feel like I would need to. Like I like the raw footage, you know, because it really shows like what's going on with me in the beginning of it all. But sidebar gone. I've been learning scales and I've been learning triad chords, and maybe a little bit of that 7th note in the chord too. Like I'm currently so everybody knows, if you dabbled in music at all, everybody knows the white keys, right? You know, you got the C major scale. Simple, you know, it's connected to FL Studio, just playing music, right? And then everybody wishes they knew the other white keys of the A minor scale, you know, right? So, right? So, like, got that down, got all the white keys, and then now you include everything else. You gotta, like, say it was like a D major scale, you know, like up a whole step. another whole step, half step, whole, 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 half, and then all the way back down. Yeah, and so it's the first time I've ever done that. I played in band like throughout all of middle school and freshman year of high school, and I did not know squat. I think it was mostly because I didn't take it seriously, and I didn't think I'd ever use it. I was just hanging out with my friends, but here I am like trying to learn music now, and I realize there's a lot to it. So that's the chords that I'm learning right now, and I'm still trying to like establish that and figure it out. It's been a big part of last week up till today, which is Wednesday. But I'm also learning triad chords, so you got the root note, got the root note, and then you got the, I think it's the third, right? It's a minor third, major third, we'll find out. You got the root, the third, and the perfect fifth. Yeah, and it's cool as that, right? And then if you really want to get fancy, you add the fourth note, the seventh, right? I'm figuring that out. So I'm learning the basics of this, and this is really important because when it comes to me wanting to create music, if I looked at FL Studio and I saw that piano roll, if you can probably see it, you probably can't see it from the camera angle, but like got a piano roll right here, and you can click things where it snaps to the scale that you're trying to have it, right? But I'm a guy that has to know why. Like, why does that not sound good? Why does this sound good on the other end, right? And a big part of that is I like to do things just right. So I could jump in, I could just say, oh, this 808 sounds great, I'm gonna throw that in there. Gonna snap it to like a minor scale, or even go on Splice, find some royalty-free sounds, and then just kind of like make stuff around it. Like that's an easy option in the beginning, which I could do. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's like I really want to do it this way, and not everybody has to do it this way, but I do. So like I like to learn it like it's a language. I got to learn all the basics of it, like I said before. But yeah, I don't want to take too much time off of this video, but that's pretty much it. That is all I have learned when I took it seriously for about a week and a half, and like it's really like the biggest part of that is it's really hard to have the mental energy to do your job and do this and have a personal life. And it's just is what it is, But everybody has different walks of life, and I have found time in the day to kind of work on it and have found discipline to push myself anyways. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and it's been pretty fun so far. So that is my I guess first update with taking it seriously.